Gaurang Shah, AVP at Geojit BNP Paribas Financial Services, joins us right now on the show. Gaurang, by flat, what I meant was that it's been at this 20-point range for the last 1 hour. It's not exactly flat compared to what the days we've had. But what have you done? You've eaten a lot of pizzas, Gaurang? Jubilant Foodworks is on fire today.
Yeah, actually it's a blessing in disguise that at least you have a 20-point move. Yeah, you can call it, with the kind of downtick that we've seen over the last couple of trading sessions. And ate a lot of pizza? Well, not really. Not a hardcore fan of Domino's pizza, but yeah, definitely on the stock, like we were discussing the other day. With the numbers that the company has delivered, I think the incremental upside now looks extremely capped, and I think the recovery that you are seeing today on the counter of Jubilant Foodworks is purely because of the kind of sell-off that you've seen. I think yesterday it corrected close to about 7-8%. Day before it corrected again about 4 or 5%. So I think it's a bounce that would possibly be seen as an exit rather than buy. So I would definitely avoid this one at current levels. Maybe sub 1100, closer to 1000. It may be worth a while to look at it purely from a long-term point of view, Neeraj.
Gaurang, afternoon. What about sugar? Because there's been quite a bit of news that there could be some headway with regards to implementation of full decontrol. What's your view on the overall pack?
Avan, again, a lot of flip-flop over here, and this sector has been in this news-bound kind of up moves and down moves. So purely from a trading angle, if you want to trade, you can definitely trade into it. But on the fundamental, maybe two stocks stand aside: Sri Renuka Sugar and EID Perry. I feel that these are reasonably, fundamentally a little bit sound stocks to possibly have a look at it. And I think Sri Renuka, with the acquisition in 2010 of Grupo Equipav, there is a lot of visibility, though that acquisition is, as of now, sitting as a weight on the balance sheet, but possibly in the next 6 to 8 months or a year time, it should start contributing. And EID Perry, I think it has got different verticals too. So I would look on the fundamentals, these two stocks, and purely from a trading, I think maybe Balrampur Chini, Bajaj Hindustan, or even smaller names could be looked at, but purely from a trading angle with a strict stop loss.
Hindustan Unilever, mind you, is back to those 453 levels. These are the levels that it had gone down to post the result disappointment. Since then bounced back, but again back to these 159, 160 kind of levels. So that's not looking too good today. JP Associates continues its downtrend, so 1.5% lower. NTPC is soft by 1.5%. A word on NTPC, Gaurang, and a couple of things or announcements being done. The debt tie-up with a couple of banks. They'll get some northwards of 2,000 crores from the Delhi government as well as regard to outstanding dues, and announcements coming in ahead of OFS. But you think priced attractively, the offer for sale?
145 to 150 is what we believe. We will have the announcement coming in late this evening, and tomorrow we'll have the OFS opened up for bids. Firstly, a disclosure, Neeraj, we do have positive coverage on NTPC amongst the power generation sector with a target of about 200. And we see this as an opportunity, because on the fallback of these news flows that the OFS could be priced anywhere between 145 to 150, looking at a discount of maybe about 5 or 10% from the range where it is trading at 153 or 155. It looks attractive, and with these developments that have happened, I think incremental positivities have started to emerge. With the capacity addition that they have in mind, and of course with the kind of capacities already in place, we do feel, and of course the other trigger is the power revision, tariff revision on the upward side, so that could have a better earning visibility. So maybe a longish time frame should be needed if you are investing in NTPC, but yeah, it does stand out to be an investment candidate.
Gaurang, there's been so much talk about a lot of policy action, but a lot believe that the implementation is still lagging. In terms of a pre-budget rally, would you brace yourself for one?
It's very difficult to call, because a lot of people are having an opinion on the budget being populist or reformist, and our belief is that possibly it could be a tight rope walk for the finance minister, and he could possibly be balancing it out very, very well. Pre-budget rally, well, it could be visible, and we expect, like we're just discussing about power sector, we believe a lot of reforms over there is needed with the kind of deficit power supply we have in our country. Infrastructure is extremely, extremely stretched out, and if you want to grow your GDP growth rate, then definitely you need to do a lot more on the infrastructure side, and we believe there could be a lot of announcement coming through. Also in the real estate sector, we believe that there could be some reforms which would be coming across, and this time around we might as well be seeing a regulatory coming in terms of a regulator of real estate sector. So these are some of the sectors that we would be watching out for in terms of announcement in the budget. And of course, the IT sector, I think continued focus will be there. Positive on mid-cap IT, hold on large-cap IT names. So yeah, I mean, but don't expect a huge, positive uptake on the index, maybe during the time of budget being announced or post that.
Gaurang, not a fundamental idea in the strictest of senses, but from the next 7 to 10 days, if there is a trading idea that you're recommending your clients, something that could either see a 3 to 4% upside or a 3 to 4% downside.
Purely on the upside, I believe, a lot of focus will be back. Since we are stuck in a range and we are not looking at any kind of, upside or downside direction, maybe about 50 to 100 points range is what we feel on the Nifty. We could possibly be looking at Pharma. I think Sun Pharma yesterday did fantastic on Taro numbers and on that announcement on getting an approval on one of the products that they have. We would be looking at LIC Housing, Titan Industries. Amongst the other pharma name, I think Cipla comes out with the numbers today, and the expectation is that they should be doing better. So I think one can build a position on Cipla, including Glenmark. Numbers were again, better than expected. And some of the mid-cap private sector banks, something like an IndusInd Bank, I think it's been consolidating quite smartly. We could see a decent upside going forward.
Okay, just pull up the stock price of a BL Kashyap for you, 1.5% or 2% higher. I think it's just moving up because I just saw in the buyers, I think they've gotten a large order, and that might be the reason why the stock is doing. It's a small stock, just about perking up a little bit in the session today. Gaurang, if you've done some analysis of what companies could benefit as a result of this pool pricing, because a couple of notes that came out suggested that while the pricing may be slightly higher, it at least will ensure availability of coal, even if it's higher priced coal for some of the companies. Have you worked on that?
Not really worked on that, but the indications we get is, I think, NTPC, Tata Power. Of course, on Tata Power, we don't have a positive coverage. We are a little bit underweight on the stock. But post this development, and if things actually work out, I think you need to see the feasibility of how everything falls in place, Neeraj. I think these, amongst the power generating companies, these two companies should benefit. Some amount of, clarity on Coal India with this proposal that has been pending for a long time, and now, of course, in principle approval coming through. I think Coal India should also be a beneficiary from a longer time horizon. But, this whole local and imported coal price pooling, etc., the mechanism should be extremely foolproof for it to give, long-term benefits, Neeraj.
Thanks very much, Gaurang, for joining in with your fundamental perspective on the equity markets.